Welcome to this sustainability short on science-based targets. An increasing number of businesses are setting science-based targets to create a plan for reducing their carbon emissions. Over the next few minutes, we are going to give you an introduction to what science-based targets are, why they're relevant to you, and how you can participate. But first, we'll tell you why they are being set. There is a growing awareness of the climate emergency. Countries, organizations, and individuals are coming to the realization that we all have a role to play in reducing carbon emissions for our benefit and that of the planet. Increasingly, we are seeing news stories of raging wildfires, more frequent and severe flooding, loss of crops, as well as melting glaciers and ice caps. The world is heating at an increasing rate, changing the weather. Most governments are responding with national carbon reduction plans. The U.S. rejoined the Paris Agreement in January 2021 and committed the U.S. to achieving net zero emissions by 2050. The administration set an interim goal to reduce U.S. greenhouse gas emissions by 50 to 52% below 2005 levels by 2030. In response, many organizations have set science-based targets, putting them on a path to playing their role in avoiding the worst effects of climate change. Reducing carbon emissions can benefit organizations by being more prepared for future legislation, potential carbon taxation, and meeting the expectations of their stakeholders. Science-based targets, or SBTs, are a method for organizations to set reduction targets for their carbon emissions in line with the internationally agreed Paris Climate Agreement. This is when the world agreed to limit global temperature rise to well below 2 degrees Celsius or 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit, above pre-industrial levels, and to pursue efforts to limit the temperature increase even further to 1.5 degrees Celsius or 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Any organization choosing to develop science-based reduction targets needs to select a suitable pathway to reducing their role in carbon pollution, depending on their industrial sector and own circumstances. They also need to demonstrate how they are going to achieve their reduction target over the 5 to 10-year timeframe. What actions will they take to reduce their own emissions, as well as those of their supply chain? Science-based targets require businesses to look not only at their direct emissions, such as the fuel they burn and electricity they use, but also their indirect emissions where these are very large. And in a sector like the built environment, between 50 and 99% of a contractor or FN service provider's carbon emissions are in the supply chain. As a consequence, more and more clients are asking their suppliers about their carbon emissions, particularly as many of them are developing their own SBTs. Measuring your carbon emissions will result in identifying carbon hotspots and hence opportunities to reduce carbon, be more efficient, and potentially save you money. It will also give you the data to report to your clients for their SBTs. Undertaking this will help keep you lean and ahead of a changing reporting and regulatory landscape. So, what do I need to do? Put systems in place to capture, measure, and analyze data on your carbon emissions. This will include your direct fuel consumption, any process emissions, and electricity consumed. Don't forget your own supply chain. If you buy lots of carbon-intensive materials like steel and concrete, they will be significant contributors to your footprint. Set clear responsibilities of who will do what, by when, and how. Once you have baseline data, set your targets. This can be done through the Science-Based Targets Initiative, SBTI. Create a plan to take action on the hotspots to reduce your impact. Engage your suppliers on what they are doing. And when you have made progress, report it to your clients and stakeholders. Tell the world what you are doing to reduce carbon emissions. This concludes our sustainability short on science-based targets. And remember, you can't manage what you don't measure.